Hi there, I'm Dr. LaQuita J, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I talk about all things in between being and becoming a pharmacist. How you doing? You all right? Welcome to Success Sundays. Welcome to this. We are continuing today. Continuing this series in the prep before the lock in. Haven't figured out the name, but by the time you get this, it will be locked in. Okay. We just locking in because it don't have to be perfect to lock in. You just got to start and do something. Okay. And we're starting to do something. All right. Okay. Let's go. I know. I want to talk about continue the series of again what lock-in looks like. And if you haven't watched the first video, we really talked about success and what it's like. We want to talk about, well, today we want to talk about this. But the last video we talked about reflection, right? And we want to talk about reflection and what does that look. We talked about that and what does it look like? Because sometimes we often want to just do things, and we have to say, "Hey, we got to reflect before we start in some things," right? We have to reflect because we have to accept some things in order to reflect. And if you have not watched too, I'll make sure I try to link the video below. Well, I'll link below, but it'll be up here too, right? So with that being said, let's get into it. Today, continue the series, and I want to really go into what does success look like. Oftentimes we hear this thing of I want success, I want to be successful, but we don't know what that looks like, and we're chasing something that we have not defined. And I want us to really come in and define what this thing we're chasing, because we're always on the hamster wheel, going and going and going, but we don't even know what it looked like. We don't know what it looked like at all. So to save us some time, some trouble, some all of these things, let's go into and really figure out what does it look like. What does Naplex success look like for you? That's the question. What does Naplex success look like for you? What is that? What does it look like? Is it passing on the first attempt? Is it passing on multiple attempts? Is it finish strong after looking at multiple tries? Is it walking to the exam room with confidence, not anxiety? What does, and even with never says, like, what does it look like? Someone may easily say, oh, to have a passing result. Good. Glad you said that. Now, let's work our way backwards. What are some daily? What are some daily? What does a success study day look like to get to that passing score? What does that look like for you? Is that finishing 50 questions and reviewing the answers? Is it understanding one or two core topics you don't understand? Is it keeping your focus for 3 hours or more before you burn out, before you tap out and get distracted and go on social media? Yeah, I'm at your bro. hmm I'm at your bro. Is it completing a checklist every day? Now, for those who got the Naplex playbook, I'm sure you that should be your success day to get through your study tips, your study goals every day. Your top 3. But what does success look like? What does it look like for you? What does a good study day look like for you? Take a moment. I'm actually going to pause for a moment and give you like 2 minutes to write that down. What does a success study day look like for you? And you feel free, drop it in the comments. I love to read and engage. I would love to let you know if you're on the right track or not. What does that study day look like for you? What does it look like for you? I really want to know. I give you 2 more minutes. Give me 2 more minutes. And we're gonna start doing some things. I should be having some music playing, and I was not gonna come on today with all this reflection because I thought we did enough reflection last time. But since we're doing it again, I'm not gonna be. I won't be brief, but it's for a reason, okay? Because here's the biggest thing I want you to do. When we identify what does success look like, what does that study day look like, and if you need more time, just pause the video and start where you need to. You can pause here. See, pause, and you start back. Okay. But y'all saw I got serious right there. I was like, okay, mannequin challenge. Okay, let me stop. But yeah, it's it's having that because I want you to have a good picture of what does success look like. What does Naplex success look like? Like, how does somebody get to that passing score? And it's for you. Because what do you need to do to feel that you're successful? Not what somebody has told you. What do you need to do to feel that you are successful? I need you to understand this because before I get into this next question, you got to answer this question. So if you haven't done it, pause and keep on going because you need to answer this question for that. Okay? Now, if you answer that, let's get into the second one. The second question, which is going to get into now, let's really get into now we know what does Naplex success look like and how we want it to look. I want to really take this time out to focus on now we know what it looks like to us. How can we implement those type of behaviors into our routine, into our daily routine? And let's even take a step back and let's go with a morning routine. Because oftentimes we want to start with like, oh, when I study, I want to do this and do that, have this checklist of things to do while you study. But let's start for you, the time for you study. What time do you wake up? Do you wake up? Can we wake up at a routine of waking up at a time where we're not rushing out the bed? A routine that includes that maybe it was a 10-minute, 10 to 15-minute meditation, a prayer, a journaling, especially gratitude journaling. Did we implement that? Did we have a light breakfast, maybe a protein shake? And protein is always good over sugar because need a brain boosting breakfast. I was like BBB. I was like, yeah, a brain boosting breakfast. We need that. What is your morning? We need morning routines. What is something that we can implement in our morning routine that says this is gonna be a successful day for me, a successful Naplex studying day for me? What is that one thing we can implement in our routine? What is one thing? Even when it comes to, um, I would say in our morning routine, that's one. Then we can get into our nightly routine. It's routines. What is something we can do where we recap the day? And a game changer I always help my clients do is we recap at the end of each day. What did you review today? What did I learn today? What stuck? And that's one of the key things we often do, especially during our Thursdays. Like on Thursdays, every Thursday, the people with my clients for the Naplex Play study program, Naplex Play program, we have a study with me, and they come in and they study. And when they come in and study, we really have time. Like they come in and study, and I ask them, "Hey, what did you learn today?" So we can fine tune those things because oftentimes we just to study, we don't know what we studying. Or I can say, okay, that was good, but focus more on this because this here is more important than what you just said there. Like newsflash, I don't mean no harm, but I want to bust this bubble right now. And I was led. Look, I was led to bust this bubble, and this free game. Why are we spending all this time in the world learning warfarin colors? Baby, learn 1 milligram, 5 milligram, and 10 and call it a day. Like sometimes we gotta pick and choose the space we got in our brain. And if you practice and work, unless you're in a warfarin clinic, why you got no autumn colors? If you're in a community setting, You gonna go get off the shelf and go get that. Look at that warfarin color. Why we gotta know all this stuff? That's even a conversation we actually had. But I want to stay on topic because I could stay on topic. I want to stay on topic because I had a whole conversation with my clients talking about like why we gotta know all these little super details. I was wondering, you know. So yes, these routines. We gotta know what these routines look like. Okay. Now, let's get into something else. Let's get into environment. I'm looking down because I wrote my notes, right? I wrote my notes. I want to make sure that we are prepared and we're getting ready to really lock in. And first things first is let's get into routine, but also your environment. Like, where are we studying? Oftentimes, you want to study in your living room. You want to go study in your bedroom. Baby, your body's conditioned for you to want to go sleep. It's conditioned for you want to go sleep. You want to study in your living room. Okay, maybe one day like switch it up, but to stay there, that's not the ideal thing you want to do to stay there. It's even so. I remember one client I had, right? So I got my nose. Y'all hear me with my face? But I told you, like one of my clients, I remember he actually came on, he was talking to someone. I said, where you at? Because I think that's the problem. Like, why we still studying the same location when we say that location is not conducive to our study where we studying there? So that doesn't make any sense. You have to study in environments where you're thriving. So I remember one day, not one day, when I was studying, I always studied at my home, but I always found like I was like stressful. I was lock in, I'll do about 2 hours max, but it was never a full day. Maybe one or two times a full day. I remember like one time I had just went like into a room and I closed everything. It was like just a bare room. And I went in, I locked in. But not oftentimes it happens. So with that, I remember on my last attempt, I committed to going to a library every single day. And I was there till it closed. When it opened up, I was first thing there. When it closed, I was the last person to leave because I was committed to. I knew that it's something about being a library, especially a library on a university campus. Even if you go to a community college campus, like go there. I'm sure they'll open you up. And I'm like, you come to study. Like people's like, oh, I'm not a student there. Baby, as long as you're in there studying, you ain't coming, you ain't going, I ain't coming there to socialize. I come in there to do some work. Okay. So I don't care about that. Sales topic, okay. So that's one of the things. So you got to make sure you're ready to get some work done. And not committed to going to like it's like when you I'll say, let me go back. When you in a library, especially like a university library, not like a public library, a university library, or if it's a public library that's called like an advanced kind, because I mean I ain't saying some rinky-dink ones, okay? But when you are in that location where it's like people just they come in because it's they know they about to study, they know they want to lock in, they know they got work to do. It's a different type of environment. It's a different level, and even to the point where in the environment, let's talk about physical environment, but let's also talk about the environment of people who are we hanging around? Are we constantly hanging around negative Nancy's? Who always like just constantly freaking out about something, and you finding yourself always got to go motivate them and prep them up. Can they prep you up? Can they help you? Can they help you achieve? Like, why? Iron got to shop an iron at this point. We talking about locking in. We can't be hanging around people. We got to constantly check in on them, and they are nowhere. Even though they in the same boat you are, their actions are nowhere aligned where you are. We ain't got time to be hanging around them people. We about to lock in on people who want iron, go shop at iron. You hear that friction? Iron trying to shop at iron right now. I don't need nobody to be around me that's 10 step backs. I'm gonna tell you a situation that happened to me a couple years back. I was reading this book called Circle of Millionaires, and it was talking about how the people you hang around with is always a thing of for this millionaire. So like the people you hang around with, the sum total how much money you make. And for me, it was like it had exercise you like all the people you come to talk to on a regular basis, like at least weekly, right? Or daily. And I wrote those people down and I was like estimating their salaries. I did an average of the salaries, baby. I made more money than they did. Like how I'm saying I want to be a millionaire. I keep hanging around people who ain't even making what I make. No point intended, but just saying, right? It's the same thing about how we want to go in life. Like we want a lot of times I tell my clients, I had to tell my client, She has a group of friends. They both in the same boat. I think it's like 3 of them. They all want to take the exam. 2 of them haven't even started. Like I said, I don't mean no harm, but baby, leave them people alone. They ain't moving forward. They just not moving forward. Like they not. Only thing they gonna do is bring you down to their level. You need to stay at you in a community where people are trying to go and want to pass the exam and actually putting the work to pass the exam. Continue around that, be around it, because oftentimes we just around people who just they're like, oh, I'm counting studying, I'm freaking out. Babe, I ain't got time. Don't get me wrong. That sometimes you gonna have your mom, you gotta help somebody, but every single time you can't. Oh, I don't know. They ain't got no compass, baby. I don't mean no harm, but you gotta have confidence yourself sometimes. Like even I always say, I'm a good coach, but at the same time, you gotta want to help yourself. It's what my auntie always say. Like, baby, I can pray for you, but you can't pray for yourself. Then I mean, hey, there's so much I can do. Okay, environment, change it, and look at and then for those of you who are in changing environments, how people were with you and now stuff has shifted. It's just gonna happen sometimes. It's just life. It's just those seasons in life. Like this year, where I am now, like the people I was hanging around with the first beginning of the year, I don't hang around right now. And at first, I could be in my feelings like, oh man, this and it. No, it's okay. For me, it is okay. Because I understand that there are different seasons in life with people. And it's no harm. It's just where the season that LaQuita's in right now, they just can't be like we have to be in the season. Now they can't be somewhere. It's a season where LaQuita has to grow and move in something. Or maybe I need to be still and just hear from God right now. Whatever that season is like, but I learn and I understand that that's what's needed. So seasons gonna change. You have to change your environment. So one, that routine. No, let's go back. One, what does success look like for you? What does a successful study day looks like for you? And honestly, I'm gonna tell you one of the key things you can definitely say what a successful day look like for you. Did you accomplish what you said you was gonna accomplish that day? That's definitely one. Two, we talked about routine. What's a morning routine? What's a night routine we can work on? And even with the night routine and a morning routine, put some gratitude in there. Put some gratitude in there. Like, what are some things we are grateful for today? Because we oftentimes we just focus on the negatives. I didn't do this. I did it. What are some things you did do? What's something great you did today? An environment. Change that environment. That environment physically, the people, the actual environment where you study, people, physical environment, and that mental environment, that real estate up there. That's where that journey comes in with that routine. Like they have to that mental environment. What are we being kind to ourselves? Are we being nice to ourselves? Are we saying, even to the point where I'll say, write some affirmations. I am becoming the pharmacist I dream of. I am prepared for the Naplex. Today I prepared the today was the I always my one of my I actually stole this affirmation from CJ with Dr. Eric Thomas, and he said today we the brokest I ever be. And I saw this other affirmation from Donnie Wiggins. Um, God grant me the ability to figure it out. Or it's not an affirmation, mantra. God grant me the ability to figure it out. I even saw this other affirmation I often tell my clients. Um, so powerful, I witness. Me and my friend, we were studying for the NPJE. She was studying for, I think, Maryland and Virginia, and I was studying for Mississippi. And it was one of those things because I literally studied it 1 week. I got too cocky. I was like, I'm licensed the second 2 states, the third state will be simple. I got too cocky, right? And it was like, I started feeling that anxiety, that depression. I was like, Lord, give me a test I can pass. I was even that's a powerful one there. Give me a test I can pass. I even said that to I was on a strategy call off on a strategy call with a doctor, and he had, I think he was last year he attended the March 4th webinar, and he had booked the strategy call with me, and he was like, and then he had emailed me, and I had booked a strategy call. I knew that strategy call. I told him like give a test he can pass, right? And he didn't. We was like, we realized like, it was a good fit, but financially he couldn't afford it. I understood. So, but some of the things I said to him, he'd applied, and he emailed me months later. He was like, Dr. LaQuita, I passed. He said, I want to thank you so much. You really helped me a lot. And he said, one of the biggest things you told me that stuck with me was like, Lord, give me a test that I can pass. I said, yes, it's always needed. Give me a test I can pass. Oftentimes we don't. Give me what that man said. Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. And sometimes your unbelief just got to be spoken to. Lord, give me a test that I can pass. Let me stop rocking because I was rocking too good. But give me a test I can pass. That's definitely one. Like, we not stressed. Give me a test I can pass. I need it. It's essential. I don't believe I don't believe I can pass. But Lord, I believe you can give me a test I can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. But I'm saying all that because I really want you to plan to execute and keeping it like, and you, and all these things I'm saying, make sure we don't forget to keep it simple. What's the KISS method? Keep it simple. It's not say stupid. I should say something else like, I don't know, but keep it simple, right? Keep it very simple. Um, keep it simple. Like, what's we know what the successful study day looks like. What's the one action we can apply that person that says that they would, this is what a successful study look like? How can we, what's one action that person does that we can do every single day? What is that one action we can do and commit to? What does that look like? What does that look like? What's that one action? Because when you define your success, we build that morning routine. We build that action into our morning routine. I'll say into our morning routine, our night routines around that vision, our study day routines, and we carry everything with consistency. Things happen at work, and I would accountability. Drop it in the comments. Drop it. What does your version of Naplex Success look like for you? What does it look like? And if you know it's a trend, I didn't say nothing about doing quizzes all the time. Because I have a client right now, he's saying, oh, I did our quizzes. I said, okay. But we get on a coaching call, he can never apply the information. Because he's on quizzes. You can't, I'm giving you a different question. You can't apply, you can't answer that question. It's one of those things. But I think I gave y'all enough points and enough things, and I know what I said. I want you to go home. I want you to go and do your homework. I said go home and do your homework. I want you to go do your homework. I want you to now leave this, go do your homework, because there are some things you need to unpack. And before we can start with application, getting things done and doing this and doing that, baby, we getting you ready for the lock-in. Because we're about to lock in. And I'm going to let you in on another big secret, right? This week, we're doing a Naplex Restart Challenge, right? We start tomorrow. You see, LaQuitaJohnson.com, Naplex Restart, go. Because we're starting tomorrow. And doing this challenge, I am releasing something that you're going to get grabs on that people will not get. They will not know until next week. But you're going to know this week. You'll get the inside scoop on this. And it's going to be locking in. Because I'm about to promote. I'm about to give you something that we're going to lock in together. We're going to lock in on this Naplex. And we're going to lock in. We're going to lock in with daily motivation. We're going to lock in with weekly study with me sessions. we're going to lock in and get some things ready because it's time. Now, if you want the big bonus, I advise you to go ahead and join the Naplex Restart Challenge because we like it. We're getting to lock in because when October hits, we're not making any more excuses. We're going to get this done. Okay? Oh, I know I'm loud. Let me stop. We're going to get stuff done. Okay? All right. Well, go ahead and rest for the challenge. If you want to know for the Naplex Restart Challenge, if you want to know when you want to be on the list when it's announced, but to the Naplex Restart Challenge, you're going to get an extreme discount that's not going to open to the public. I'm telling you this now. Okay? But your choice, do your thing. But until next time, remember that pharmacy is on the limit if you are. And now go be great. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace out. I know we like